They try to mislead people and keep people stupid through many ways, like censorship and manipulation of public discourse, in order to secure their own advantages. They exploit and deplete the resources and intellectual capabilities of the people. What they do is absolute colonization. They believe that money and power will solve their problems, and this is the common trait in these societies. While in reality, the main cause of their misery is actually colonization. They have been colonized and exploited by the ruling class in these societies. Hey guys, what's up? This is Daohe, and welcome to our channel. Today, our topic is very important because it is deeply related to your life and the society you are in. But before I introduce the topic, let's take a moment to pray for peace around the world. May all the people enjoy freedom and live peacefully. May all of us embrace the right ideas and do the right thing. And let's pray for a truly free and civilized and happy planet, which we call Free Earth. Our Commonwealth group will promote the idea of Free Earth in the near future. If you support this idea, please don't forget to subscribe us and be posted. Alright, so I am going to talk about the most important distinction between democracy and non-democracy, which many people never quite understand, as most governments have claimed that they are a democratic one. But it is very essential knowledge because it is deeply related to your life and your well-being. So I'm going to talk about this distinction between democracy and non-democracy to help you recognize the political environments of the societies you live in, of the areas you live in. And please don't get me wrong, I am not against any country or any region. My intention is to tell my audience some of the important facts from the perspective of civilization. You see, large number of people in various parts of the world are still not living in a democratic society. And even though many people have lived in a democratic society, they are struggling in many ways. At this point of our civilization, human beings need to solve these problems, and they are not easy. In democratic societies, the ideas of freedom, autonomy, and justice are deeply rooted. And this is also the preaching of God, the spirit of Christianity. We need to love each other, care for each other, help each other, and appreciate each other. We can't turn a blind eye to those suffering. So our video will help people rediscover the meaning of democracy and the fact that colonization still exists in many societies today, which we call internal colonization. So please be noted that colonization is not limited to invading another country or area and enslavering the people there to gain profits. That is called external colonization. If the government of a country or region do that to their own people, that is also a kind of colonization. What do you think? We want to call this internal colonization. They implement control and oppression similar to that of external colonization in order to gain economic and political profits, curbing the prosperity of freedom in the society. They don't think of themselves as part of the society. Instead, they consider the whole society as their own resource, and they seek endless profits from people. They are actually going against public interest, but they would try everything to conceal their true intentions and needs. They are afraid that people become awakened and gain power and overthrow their oppressive ruling. It has led to relentless suffering and heavy labor in those areas. People often believe that they are able to change their lives through working harder in those societies, but in fact, if you don't even know what exactly caused your misery, how are you going to change it, right? And these people may assume that they live in a democratic society and authority figures also tell them so, but they don't. So how can we make a clear judgment? If your government shows the following characteristics, then you basically live in a colonized area. First of all, the government is not elected by people. People can remove it either. The government don't have a clear political vision and fail to express the true needs and desires of the society. They neglect the people's interests. And in most cases, people have no say at all. The government decides everything. The only thing people are allowed to do is just to do what is told, and that is absolute dictatorship. In a democratic society, individuals hold the power to choose their governments through elections, but they also have the right to oust it if it fails to fulfill its duties. And this represents the most significant difference between modern civilization and civilizations of the past. It is a turning point and also serves as the dividing line between a society that upholds civic values and one that is driven by most people. In a democratic society, every citizen has the ability to contribute their ideas and efforts towards the development of their society. The leaders are ideally chosen based on their ability to lead the nation or area towards a brighter future, rather than coming from a fixed social class. Their policies, laws, and regulations proposed by the government should serve the interests of the citizens. On the other hand, in colonized areas, people do not have the power to elect their government, nor do they have the ability to remove an incompetent government. Actually, they are not citizens of a civilized society, and they are devoid of effective ways to express their desires and speak up for themselves and the society's future. If they protest against unfair actions or propose new solutions for the social reform, they are often seen as a nuisance and subjected to various forms of persecution. Unfortunately, the authorities place higher importance on eliminating disagreements rather than addressing the real problems. Power is concentrated in the hands of a smaller minorities who determine the course of all matters, while others are merely passive recipients and executors. Their idea of democracy is limited in scope, and it gradually becomes even more restricted, eventually consolidating power in the hands of a single individual. And this leads to a situation where a few powerful individuals monopolize control, ruling with absolute authority. As a result, the general population has limited access to democratic participation and lacks opportunities to engage in the social and political process. Leaders never prioritize the welfare and living quality of the people. They often disregard and neglect the rights of the ordinary. And the policy making is not out of the need to protect people's interests. Instead, it is driven by their own selfish political motives, ensuring their own absolute benefits and securing their political leadership on the position of their group. They support and empower their military forces while crushing any meaningful political aspirations. One thing they often do is to suppress people's pursuit of human rights and equality because they are so afraid that people become awakened and have the power to overthrow them. They arm themselves and hinder social advancements. They do that deliberately and often secretly. Moreover, ignorance is their best weapon. They try to mislead people and keep people stupid through many ways, like censorship and manipulation of public discourse, in order to secure their own advantages. They exploit and deplete the resources and intellectual capabilities of the people. What they do is absolute colonization. They are colonizing their own people. You may wonder, how do people living in those areas feel? Firstly, they feel constantly exploited and they suffer all the time. The pervasive feeling of anxiety and repression dominates the entire social environment. And those who hold democratic values feel this even more deeply, and it can be suffocating for them. It is like a stifling of civilization. Furthermore, colonization is actually everywhere in these societies, in every relationship. The government never actively promotes the idea of democracy and freedom. In fact, they may attack and suppress such ideas openly or secretly, because they are afraid that people who learn these ideas will be going against them. So now think about what would it be like in a society without the modern value of humanity, freedom, and democracy. Under such ideological influence, there is a constant tension between individuals, groups, races, and areas. People lacking the education of democracy and human rights, and also other common values, generally find it harder to trust each other. This opposition extends to relationships between spouses, family members, parents, children, and neighbors, let alone strangers, leading to a state of mutual defensiveness. Meanwhile, people tend to blame their misfortune on other people instead of the society. They may believe that the reason why they couldn't lead a happy and free life is because they don't have enough money or power over other people. They believe that money and power will solve their problems, and this is the common trait in these societies. While in reality, the main cause of their misery is actually colonization. They have been colonized and exploited by the ruling class in these societies, but very few people know it. This is why we make this video to reveal the notion of internal civilization, because people really need to recognize what kind of societies they live in and how it really influences their life. Today, in many countries, lots of people live in a society of freedom and democracy. And they are the citizens who are able to elect their governments and remove it when necessary. But let's not forget, our civilization is constantly under the threat of regressive forces and attacks. There are also many problems in any civilized society now, on the earth, and if people living there don't strive for it, defend for it, this civilization may die one day. And it is our duty to keep it alive and renew. This is why we put forward the notion of free earth, which embodies the principles of freedom, autonomy, righteousness, and justice, to constantly push the development of civilized societies. The earth needs us. Modern civilization needs the strength and dedication from every one of us. We need to take the responsibilities for the society and also the world. And we need to have a clear and right understanding about the situation we are in, and we need to improve it at the right pace. May God bless everyone, and as the messenger of the God, I will strive for the development of our civilization, because I know I was born for humanity, and I come for the happiness of all human beings. To sum up, in a democratic society, people have the power to elect and remove governments. Moreover, due to the prevailing ideologies of democracy, freedom, and also humanity, individuals are encouraged to live their lives with optimism and happiness, and the government also helps them. The atmosphere of these societies is not repressive, at least. And in these areas, policy making is also driven by the goal of protecting the majority's rights and profits, rather than serving personal interests. However, it is incorrect to assume that the best form of democracy is one where policy making is led by the majority of citizens. That is the wrong idea. Democracy does not necessarily mean the decisions are collectively determined. It means decisions are made in the best interest of all the citizens, because most people lack a clear political vision and the mindsets needed to effectively lead a civil society. And throughout history, we have often witnessed situations where a single individual rescued a society from peril or changed the whole nation. We have seen a lot of cases like that. In democratic societies, leaders often need to make commitments to the public about improving living, social, political conditions before they gain the trust of citizens and ascend to power. But things are different in, those colonized areas. And this is the fundamental difference between capitalistic societies and those societies of the past, as the governments in these societies represents the interests of the citizens. They are responsible for ensuring and protecting the rights and welfare of the citizens. And I think we truly need to take a moment to appreciate the system that our predecessors have fought for and reformed. Of course, every democratic society has its own weaknesses, which is why there is always room for progress and improvement. And this is why it is not enough for us to just sit and watch and enjoy. It is necessary for every citizen to care and to take responsibilities and obligations for the society, for our communities, and for human beings, for human civilizations. We should embrace the ideals of freedom, autonomy, justice, and take right actions. Remember, you are a part of the earth, and you have a responsibility to offer love and efforts to all humanity. because that's how you will raise up. Jesus taught us to love each other, to love our neighbor, and to love the world. If all the people can love each other and devote to each other, the world will truly become a heaven. And the purpose of this video is to help you understand the distinctions between democracy and colonization, and help you comprehend the societies you live in, because understanding this is very crucial for individual lives and also for shaping democracy. We will make more videos regarding modern civilization and the ideas of free earth, and I want to thank you for constantly supporting us. May God bless all of us, and see you in the next video.